Hi, everyone. Welcome back into Primetime TV. Finally, we are back. How's this feel? Pretty good, huh?
Feels pretty good, is right.
I am so excited. We missed all you guys. I know you've been wondering where we've been. And as I mentioned on Facebook, we've been homeschooling my grandson, JD. And it was quite an experience, wasn't it?
It certainly was.
It was really great. And so he'll be back in school. And right now he's in summer camp. And I'm just so glad to be back with all of you and share what we've been doing to push through the craziness in the world today, right?
It doesn't get much crazier than this.
You know, that is a topic of discussion. If you're tuning in for the first time, I'm Barbara Marville Kelly. With me is my husband and partner, life partner forever and ever, Dennis Kelly. And we've had our challenges through these last 2.5, 3 months, 100 days, whatever it is. I've lost track. How about you? Right?
Absolutely.
I just cannot believe what everyone has been having to face. And as you know, if you have been watching our shows in the past, you know we talk all about what? Personal growth and development, learning how to live the Marshall way, learning how to relax with Tai Chi Qigong, and one of the biggest things is building our immune system, right?
You're absolutely correct. How about that?
One of the things that so many doctors are talking about is something that we have been doing all along, is building our immune system. And as you tune in, which we have a new time slot, which I'm very excited, 2 o'clock every Monday, live and unrehearsed here, and we're going to have some really good surprises for you. We're going to be doing some more workshop material, and we have some announcements to make on kind of what we've been doing in order to actually push through this pandemic with the corona. I don't even want to say the word. I don't even want to give it the energy. But anyway, the virus that's gone wild everywhere. And we're all trying to come back. Our studio's been back. We would have been here live if it wasn't for us doing our homeschooling. I call it my HSN network, my homeschooling network, and believe me, it was.
He was schooling us more than we were schooling him.
We learned more from JD.
He'd show you how to work some of the machines.
Oh my goodness, you have no idea.
They do that to me all the time too, so don't feel bad. I wasn't letting that get out of school.
I know. He would help show us how to do whatever on my iPad, on my iPad. 6 years old.
Kid's got an IQ out of sight.
I know, he truly does. So anyway, we are back. We're glad to be back. And I don't even know where to begin other than what I actually posted on Facebook today, and mentioned that we have been Lazer Beam Focus, which we started last year, if you remember, 2020 vision. For the year 2020, we started this way back last in 2019, remember?
Oh, yeah.
On moving forward into this new year, and we had no idea what we would be faced with. However, fortunately, we planned accordingly, which was really a continuum of the way we've lived our lives for however many years that we've been together. And Tampa Bay Multimedia, which is the company here at We Beam TV, where we air our live shows among many, many other shows. And we're just so blessed to be able to have this vehicle, to have this platform, to get the information out to millions of people, really. And these shows air throughout the week as well, and on the weekends and wherever we see fit, because we have so much information we want to share. And one of the biggest things that I wanted to talk about, which I know I'm always talking more than you, but I know you will chime in here at any given moment. But all kidding aside, what pushed us through, what got us through this last 3 months was our strong foundation in faith, family, and friends, and people that are supporting us, as well as many of you. And it hasn't been all that easy, has it, Mr. Champion of the World?
Well, we try to make it look easy.
We try to make it look easy, but sometimes it isn't.
You have to dig down deep. But the good news about that is the more bad news you face, the more you're learning.
Oh, I never heard you say that.
So if you really are learning from something that's bad, then there is no bad things.
You're absolutely
bad
right.
People.
You're absolutely right. So let's talk about that. Our show is very open mic and nothing rehearsed. I have a few notes here, but that's basically what I posted on Facebook. I love what you just said. is what can you learn from this? What I'm going to ask you, this is the first time I haven't asked him this question. He brought this up. What did you learn? What did we learn as a married couple when we got one gut punch after another for 3 days in a row, canceling all of our Tai Chi classes and a whole lot more? What did we learn from that?
Well, that's really not even hard to figure out. What you've learned is how to communicate better with each other. There was, obviously, we're going through a great period in our country, and that period is a period of either downfall or growth. It's how you take it. So when we run into a situation in our family, at home, the key thing, or personal thing, the key thing I say was, what can be good about this? What can be good about this? And there's always something that you can come with. So Abe Lincoln said too, he said, the more mistakes I make, the better I learn. Because you don't learn from something that goes right. When I was fighting in the ring, and I would lose a match, I would say, what can be good about this? Well, I need to learn how to protect myself in that particular move. So everything is, this can be very metaphoric in a sense that when you learn something and you learn something new, guess what? It's like seeing a good movie. You want to pass it on to the family. Pass it on to friends. So not only are you helping yourself, but you're helping someone that comes in contact. Now, the thing that you don't want to do is be a crybaby. Go run into people, and I know I don't have to worry about you. You're like the mother lion.
Lioness.
Oh, yeah.
We have to be. We really have to be
It's
today.
the only way to keep our sanity in this godforsaken mess of this world.
It's true. And not everybody has that strength, and this has been a skill set that we've had to learn and teach ourselves, right?
Absolutely. We're always learning.
And you know, interesting, you're right. Interestingly enough, before all of this hit hard, one of the shows that we did was on the HeartMath Experience. And I know that we've re-aired that show several times here at the studio for the last few months. And I'm glad that that was one of the shows that John decided to put out there, because there was a lot of really good, healthy, wealthy knowledge that will allow you to get through just about anything. I mean, all of it. We were included in the group of masses of people that lost income. But guess what? We have our health. We have our health. And that is the biggest wealth that we're grateful for. But along with that, you know, we're scrambling and we're thinking, okay, we both agreed, what was good about this was we were forced, when the rug was pulled out from under us, we didn't pull it out from under us, it forced us to do something that we've been wanting to do for a long, long time. And that is getting my husband's classes online in a way that you can actually take these classes right from where you're at, right there and now. In fact, this could be fresh, hot off the press. Just before we came out here, we were asked to do a Tai Chi segment here a day out of the week. And it looks like we may even do that too. So there's always alternatives, and it all depends. And if I've said this once, I've said it a million times, you too. Perception is everything. And I know it can be detrimental to some people. It really wasn't detrimental to us. We needed to just shift our sails, right?
Right, and the interesting thing, we've never spent so many days together with so many hours that I had no idea how it would turn out. I figured it turned out good because we're both very positive people, and we have feelings just like everybody else, even though we would like to believe that we have reached a state of imperturbability where nothing rocks our boat. So what came out of this, as we said last night, and as we hugged each other, we said we have really learned a lot. It's like falling in love all over again. Because we thought we knew each other. But when you spend 12 hours a day, sometimes more than that, with one person for 3 months, you really get to know. I didn't know that person as well as I thought I did. But that can be a good side, because what I meant when I just said that is I am finding things out about you that are very positive. I didn't look for the negative. They just go by the wayside. When you plan a positive thing, you either kicks the butt of a negative thing, even though they don't relate.
And bad anchors.
Well, we have little follicles on every cell that absorbs the positive or negative. And the more positive you are, the more little nodules that collect the energy will get into focus. So the key is to focus on the positive thing, because you just improve your performance with yourself. Because the reason most people don't communicate, they can't communicate because they don't communicate with themselves.
And they weren't communicating before the pandemic.
Yeah, they don't know how to communicate
That's right.
with themselves. Everything they touch seems to turn to doo-doo.
Well, I think we've talked about this many times, so we're going to be celebrating our 20-year anniversary this year in October 21st. And over time, being certified life coaches and teaching others our little secret sauces of the world that works and all of that. Many of you have already tapped into the HeartMath Experience that we offered the last time we were here. Actually, when we launched it, it was at $29.95, and now HeartMath is offering it as something complimentary by HeartMath. So, and we'll talk about that throughout the show here again. And you can always go to either one of our websites, barbaramarvel.com or dennis-kelly.com. And if you go to my website, there is a link on there that is called the Heart Empowered Living, I believe. And it's a beautiful, beautiful video that will get you out of your own way. If you feel down in the dumps or lonely or you have no hope, trust me, if every person does this exercise from that video, each one of us can change the world one heart at a time. And we're going to talk more about that too, because we've had a chance to test each other, haven't we?
Oh, yeah.
Test each other when you lose your income, but you know you've got something. You know in your heart you have something. And we don't watch much of the news, but when we do and we're appalled with what we're seeing, what's happening out in the streets and the different states and all, I said this to my son Jason the other day. It all comes right down to people not learning how to manage their emotions. Is that correct?
Absolutely, and very few people can.
It's true.
You know why, don't you? Many, many thousands of years ago, the Paleolithic ancestors, when they were born as pessimists rather than optimists, because back in those days, you actually had to be a pessimist because there wasn't too many positive things happening. So as a result, we evolved into a nation where there's 77% of the population are pessimists. And that was for survival purposes back eons ago. However, now we don't need that negative like we did then. For example, a group of natives are going through the woods and they look at a bush, and the ones that are positive, they're going to say, oh, there's no tiger behind that bush. The ones that are negative are going to say, yes, there's a tiger behind the bush. Well, the key thing is when you start talking about tigers behind the bush, the one that did their homework is the one that's going to move on without being the lunch for the tiger
and living in fear.
Or living in fear. That's a good way to put it.
I like it when you share that. And that's pretty much what we did, because we did our homework ahead of time in studying the skill sets of HeartMath, backed by science, backed by medical documentation, and I'm so proud of that. But I'm going to fast forward a little bit through this last 3 months, and prayer, a whole lot of prayer. And have you ever heard the phrase, when one door closes, another door opens? It's exactly what happened with us. Exactly. And you're going to hear more about what happened in July when we come back at our new time slot. I think I have even more energy. I'm just ready to rock and roll here in the middle of the afternoon. Watch out, right?
And I got to compete with that.
But anyway, so what happened when that one door closed? No more classes until further notice. Okay. But we are the ones that know how to teach those classes and know how to pay all this stuff forward, which is what we're doing. I'm having to learn more, you're having to learn more on the technology. And if you know us by now, you know that that has not been one of our strong skill sets, right? But thanks to John Gaston here at the studio, he always brings us around. And boom, 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 this is what it is, this is what that is, and I love that. So we're determined in order to move forward with what we're doing to help everybody make that transformation, because I think that's what's happening, is transformation, whether you like it or not. And the perception is everything. Did we consider ourselves as victims? Absolutely not. We are survivors, and I know you're survivors out there too. So when that one door closed, the next door opened almost immediately with a phone call. And of all the things that we could bring forward to our viewing audience, to our family and friends, which we've been doing, is a program that helps to build the immune system. Go figure, right? It wasn't jewelry, it wasn't any potions and lotions or anything like that. It is an immune boosting system that we were introduced to, and we've been taking our time before we start going out there with it, and a few other things that we have up our sleeves that we're going to really go into detail down the road. And we've noticed that it has really helped us even be more centered and calming because of all the things. My husband and I are in that age group. We're not supposed to be going anywhere. We're supposed to be wearing the mask. But I do volunteer going out because we've already been building on our immune system from before. However, I got to tell you, this was a pretty scary thing, what was going on. And then, of course, you don't know who to rely on, the fake news, the real news, who's on first, who's telling the truth out there. Believe me, we went through the same thing. And we would get appalled with what we were listening to, but we made the choice to have the right perception, to know that if we listen to our heart, gain and glean as much knowledge as we can, and just push through it. And that's what we've been doing. That's what we've been doing for, well, it was what, in April?
It works.
It works. In April, yeah, it was April that we got the phone call, and you just pray, okay? I got to say, just pray. We couldn't believe it. We could not believe what we were hearing.
Well, for 3 or 4 years, I've been trying to give up those 4 classes. But
That's right.
a third to a little bit more than that of our income depended on those classes. But I wanted to get involved in other things. So what could be good about that? Well, when we got wiped out, all of our classes got canceled because they all was with retirement centers. We had lost almost half of our income.
Well, you know, the interesting, wonderful, wonderful good thing about that was you escaped one of those nursing homes, I think, just in the nick of time, because they were in the news. I'm not going to mention any names. I pray and hope that they're doing well now. But 2 weeks, it was 2 weeks after you got the email that your classes were on hold until further notice. And then on the news again, there was like close to 100 cases. So we're thinking, you know what, maybe it's not in our best interest to go there physically, even though the classes are wonderful when you can participate in one. We may have 1 or 2 opening back up, one at one of the country club communities, as long as we know that curve is like off the charts down.
But the good thing is I won't be teaching them.
Yeah, exactly. So we're also working on going online. You're not going to believe this, but I actually did put Zoom on our desktop. I did it all by myself. I still can't believe I did that. But we were doing some testing with some friends of ours. And you did a couple of classes and on Zoom on Saturdays at 12 o'clock. And if you're going to be doing that again, we'll invite anybody that wants to get with us, do a private message, and I will send you that Zoom link until I figured part B. I got part A on the Zoom. Now I need to do part B. But that's just, hey, I did it, right?
Right.
Because you know what? When push comes to shove, you do what you got to do. And I have real good skill sets at that after being a single mom for a number of years.
I bet you do.
You just, and because you love teaching and you love your students. That's the one thing that we miss, is the live classes with our students. But now, Zoom, I know so many people that are doing the Zoom classes, and we Zoom people in here. And we're going to be doing that in, I think in the month of July. We have some very special guests that are going to be coming on board. And some of the education that we've learned with all the super antioxidants that really is second to none with what we've ever compared to in all the years we've been together, right?
Yeah, you're right about that. There's not even any guessing on that one.
In fact, hold on. Was this from Sunday's paper?
Yeah.
Okay, so from Sunday's paper, I'm looking for it's about COVID. Here it is, the ultimate COVID-19 mystery, right here. This was from our Sunday paper. We only get the paper like once a week now on Sundays. I clip coupons still, and you read this for me, because I have my new eyeglasses coming this week, so I couldn't go there. But what did you say about the immune system? What did they say here in the paper, if you believe it?
They were talking about the immune system on the older people is why they're not surviving.
That's right.
Because their immune systems are weak. And
right.
the young people that have weak immune systems, they're not surviving, most of them, that have the weak immune system. So, put quite frankly, is anyone that is out there and does not want to expose themselves, it's not going to guarantee you that you're not going to be exposed to it. But the key thing, what if you do get exposed to it? What if you do get the positive on it? Then it lies with who has the best immune system. You can have, at 82 years of age, my immune system is probably very strong because I do all the right things as far as, well, most of the time, as far as supplements, as far as things that you can do to reduce stress, so that your immune system lifts right through the roof, in a sense. We got products that we have that we're taking that does that. Of course, there's no guarantee you could have a fantastic immune system and still get the virus. However, that is very rare. So if I was an individual that did not have any knowledge of this, the first thing I do is go do what you need to do, get with the experts, the so-called experts, and most of them are, they've got credentials, and it's not hard to build somebody's immune system if somebody will participate. I mean, I can take somebody and sit them down for 20, 30 minutes. They can walk out of here knowing what to do to get a high immune system.
That's so true. It's so true. It takes work. And so many people are busy, and I remember as a young mom, and we're scrambling and, trying to raise income, raising a family and all that. I understand that. Some people I know down here in Florida were working 1, 2, 3 jobs and all of that. So that is priority so that we can put food on the table. I get that. However, like my husband says, building the immune system is so critical, because even if you have worked on your immune system, and it's not to say that it's a guarantee for anything, and everybody gets different results with whatever their protocol is, whether eating organic or not eating organic, whether they're drinking enough water or not, whether they're taking supplements or not, the right supplements to take. But you've been building on your immune system ever since I've known you. But how many years before that? And I've known you, 24 years, 23, 24 years. But you were working on that before I ever met you.
Yeah, I've been working on the immune system for going on 40 years.
Exactly.
That's where I was really serious about it. And that's why I can't say I never get sick. But I can't even remember the last time I was sick.
Well, let's talk about what happened.
And when you get sick, it isn't as disastrous. Like,
it isn't.
For example, I am recovering from Parkinson's disease. Now, in most people that have had this disease as long as I have, they're in really bad shape. Now, I can't cure it, but the thing, I can live my life like a normal human being.
Of course.
And I'm not embarrassed when I feel a few tremors or whatever, but it's because of my immune system is high, and it keeps that disease from getting its foothold to do me in. I'm doing it in, it's not doing me in. And when you get a disease like that, take my word for it, that when you get a disease like that, it's not a death sentence. The sentence that you have is a sentence you give yourself. Oh, I am not going to be able to do this anymore. I won't be able to fight in the ring anymore. And so what? The key thing is you've done it. Pick things that you've done that makes you feel good about yourself. In my office, I have all my trophies, not all of them to give.
I know you gave a lot of
I have them lining up there, not to impress anybody, because and Barbara spends most of our time, nobody goes in that room. However, whenever I have a little doubt, look at those trophies, I say, I can do that. There's nothing that's going to stop me. Look what I've done. And everybody can play that game. It's not a silly game. Mm-hmm. I call it Pollyanna in the healing part rather than the rough.
We forget what we've accomplished. I'm sure you probably have those moments too. When you talk about your immune system, I wanted to also talk about what happened to you exactly, without belaboring it, but I just want to let you know, 1 month ago, what happened to my husband. The average 82-year-old, I just don't know how they would have survived. He went missing for 2.5 hours. 2.5 hours. I had to call the sheriff. The sheriff had the helicopters ready to go until they sent a deputy up to the clubhouse where my husband was sitting on a golf cart, bleeding from head to toe. You took not one fall, not 2 falls, but 3 falls on an uneven pavement, a sidewalk that was like this. Nobody has better balance than my husband, even me, and I've got good balance. And I want to tell you that you talk about a life-changing moment. He did have a concussion, scrapes, he still has bruises. If you can see, we didn't put any makeup. He still has a little bit of bruise here, but he had a black eye, all this bruised. He still has big, huge bruises on his side, right? And 7 stitches in his hand.
Yeah, they thought somebody beat the crap out of me.
I know.
I'd explain that one. No.
I'm still asking about that. I said, how do you fall like this? I mean, you're a martial artist. Didn't you roll? I know you tried to roll. I know. He said, when I asked him that question, he says, yeah, I tried to roll, but my head wasn't going where I wanted it to go.
And it hit the cement in 3 different places.
That's right. And that was a month ago. Now, is he out of the woods yet? We're praying for it, and we thank all of you that has been following this saga on Facebook. He goes, this Friday you go for the CT scan because he ended up with hematoma on the outside of each side of the brain. And you talk about being grateful. Oh boy, just when you think that you're at a very high level of positive consciousness and something like this happens, it just changes everything. And you go to even a deeper state of gratitude and love and prayer and all of that. And again, I say that he was able to survive this in the way that he survived it because of your immune system and all the workouts. No broken bones, no stroke, right? He didn't have a brain bleed. The hematoma, which came, it was 5 days later, I had him back in there. He was released. 82 years old, he was released that night within 2 to 3 hours. Of course, they don't want to keep you there, if they don't have to because of the virus and all of that. So the point we're trying to make is build your immune system. You can do this. Eat better. Spend more time. Well, we're all spending more time with our family, and I tell you, it can be testy, right?
Oh, yeah.
And we're just so happy to be back in the studio and using this platform to share what we know, what we've learned with all the chaos and the ramped up craziness out in the streets and all. And this wasn't really a new thing for us because we're really homebodies. We've had many years of entertainment and going here and going there. With me with the Home Shopping Network, you with all the dance studios, and then with your competition. We love being home. We're really home. We love that. So it really wasn't much of a change for us.
No, it's not. It's a change of how we think. Mm-hmm. We just went into a higher plane of thinking.
Yes, thank you.
One thing I want to mention before I forget while I'm thinking about it, the experts say that if you could keep your immune system of a person that's 25 years of age, mm-hmm. If you could keep your immune system just like if you were 25 years of age, you could live forever. Because it's
Where'd you hear that?
Well, what caused a cell to die? We have a limited amount of antioxidants in our body and so on. So,
I see.
But that's not going to happen at this stage in our world. Someday, somebody's going to come out with a way, and they're probably getting close, to be able to keep your immune system that of a 25-year-old. I believe there's nothing impossible as a human being.
Well, I know you've given... I'm sorry.
We've got to be careful that we don't make somebody think that we're going to be able to do that.
Right, right. So I know you've given seminars, and when we've talked about the human body, and I'm not, we've done this before, I'm not wanting to jump on the soapbox about the vagus nerve or about the immune system, about the telomeres. You can look that up online, get all the information you want, but you'll hear us talk about the vagus nerve, and there's more health experts now talking about the vagus nerve, a main nerve in the body.
I've been talking about that for 30, 40 years,
Yep.
and when it just came out not too long ago about the importance of the vagus nerve, everybody's, oh, that's something new, that's something
It's not.
That's been there.
Right, exactly.
And the vagus nerve, in case some of you are wondering, is the largest nerve in the body. It goes from the head to the abdominal area. The Chinese call it the Dantian area. And it is like a barometer of everything that's happening in the body. It tells the body if it has a weak immune system. It tells the body if they're breathing right. It tells the body this, tells the body that. And it tells the brain what to do about those things, in a sense. It gets the brain's attention. So then the brain absorbs that information, then passes it down to the vagus nerve. And then the vagus nerve does what it needs to do to call upon the hormones whenever. However, when a situation is that the vagus nerve, which is supposed to handle our stress meter, when the vagus nerve gets too much stress, too much negativity, then the vagus nerve starts giving the poor information to the brain. Then the brain starts getting confused, gives information back to the vagus nerve that isn't good information. Then what happens, we have a whole chain of things. We'll just cover one of them. There's many more. There is a gene called a P53 gene, and it goes through the blood system and lymphatic system. P53 gene is a gene that kills cancer tumors. And it has a big important factor to do in this body of yours. However, with the negative things that are going on, when people are more negative and positive, then that confuses the vagus nerve. We're not supposed to be like that. And then the vagus nerves give that information back to the brain. It goes through the whole crazy process. They're all really confused. Then the poor P53 gene, it gets its orders from the vagus nerve, starts killing good cells. Because it doesn't know what to do. It's blind.
All from stress.
All through stress or lack of proper diet. And I don't mean diet, but I mean proper nutrition. That's the word I wanted. So there is a reason for that. And once you understand that knowledge, once you know that it's there, you don't have to understand it, know how it works. Just like when you flip on the light switch. You don't know what electricity is. The experts don't know really what it is. But you're doing that because you know it's going to work unless you paid the light bill. So as a result, it's not that hard to control. It's just there's so many things that get in the way. People start majoring in minor things rather than majoring in major things. They will get more upset about the checkbook being imbalanced than having to spend a night in the hospital. I mean, it just is crazy. But we are not born with a manual. And there's so much information out there that it's very confusing. And I hate to say this, but a lot of that information is El Toro doo-doo. In other words, it is not good information.
That's true.
Most of that information is to make a lot of money. Make money is the commercial part. But when we do things to make money, I make people realize that that is just a small part of what they need to do. And I'm glad that I can participate in giving that information, whether you use it or not. In other words, if I can lead you to the water, but I can't make you drink. If you want to dehydrate, that's up to you.
That's right. That's right.
Now I'll turn it over to you for 4 minutes.
Well, you were really on a roll there.
Heck.
But you're passionate about this information, and that's why we're passionate about the platform that we use here on WeBeam TV. And again, our new time slot is on Mondays at 2 o'clock live, unrehearsed, right here. You never know what surprises are going to be coming your way, because we've been laser beam focused 2020 vision on 2020, and this is more of the start of it, really. We had no idea we'd have to really adjust our sales, but we have, and it's working. And you can too if you haven't adjusted your sales yet. And if you have, just keep on going, keep on pushing through it. One of the things that we are excited to mention to you is we're always being asked, could you start a new class in this town? Could you start a new class in that town? Well, yeah, we're doing that because you certify professional Tai Chi instructors. And that's happening throughout the United States. And if you ever want to get certified or you know somebody that would like to check our program out, you can do that by private messaging us or go to dennis-kelly.com and you'll see the certifications on there. Our DVDs are on there if you would like to purchase, and they are, I think, $35 per DVD. However, we have found someone that has actually put together a means in which you can watch our DVDs on your phone, on your iPad, or even on your smart TV, and we're going to put that link up for you. And if you wanted to get, so far we have 3 classes on there. We have our entry level, so if you're there's no experience necessary at all. We have the first level on there. We call that our purple DVD, and when we're selling the DVDs, and there it is right there. Thanks, John. And we have the Qigong and the Tai Chi. You can get all 3 of those on this particular website at $30 for the monthly subscription, and you can watch them as much as you like, and it renews itself month after month. And it'll take several months for you to go learn all those DVDs, right?
Yeah. However, the thing that's different about our classes is we get into nutrition to a degree. We get into things that are going to help you along with the Tai Chi or Qigong, and they give so much more substance to what we're doing, because if you just teach a lot of instructors, unfortunately, there's good instructors out there, there's poor instructors, it's like anything else.
Sure.
But the key thing is you got to really give them a reason to want to be better and build up a passion with that student, that person you're teaching. So when we certify everybody, or anybody, I would say about 90% of our people that we certify now are distant learning. I have people all over North America that I certified to teach.
Yes.
Now, weren't they glad about that? Because when this virus hit, people couldn't go to work. They were teaching out of their home. In other words, when I say teaching out of their home, using the internet.
Yes, using the Zoom.
That's how basically a lot of I would say 80–90% of our new instructors, it's because of distant learning. I have instructors that have been with me for 12, 13 years, and we never met. We met through the smartphone and things like that, or the Zoom, and now we can have more of those meetings. I can reach out and help people more now. And it's not up to me. I say I'm looking for people that are looking for us.
Yes, and there's a whole lot to be said for that. And who came to mind was Brett, our friend Brett, who came to us wanting to further his education with you and your program, because he was certified at one time through your other process. And he was going to mobile home parks. And he called me up one day, and he wanted to order some videos, a lot of videos. And he said he started out with 3 people, and before he knew it, he had 40 people in the class. And he was doing some free classes, and then I think he was eventually charging $10 for a class, and that was live. And then the virus hit, so and he was done for that. He's going back in the fall. But he's becoming one of our master trainers, which is going to take him even to a higher level. He's going to help us certify other instructors because we need them now. Tai Chi, for what it's done for us and the Qigong together, it really does help, not only help you relax, but if you're relaxed, you don't have the cortisol that's going into the system, which is reducing your immune system. Hello. So this whole program all comes together. It's just in one wonderful, healthy bubble. And this is just what we're doing. And we're always open-minded, and we don't tell anybody about anything unless we've tried it. We research the researchers, right? We want the science behind it. We want the history behind it. We want the wisdom of ages behind it. Medical documentation is out there. We never make any claims because everybody's going to get different results, right? Just like we get different results if we get a virus or if we get some kind of disease. You were diagnosed with Parkinson's disease, what, 6 years ago or something like that?
Well, yeah, but I knew I had it for the last 10 years. I didn't know it was Parkinson's.
But you knew there was something.
But I knew, well, I started shaking.
Yeah,
I'm not nervous. Why am I shaking?
Yeah, exactly.
Then I failed to really address it until it started getting worse. And then it started affecting me in other things.
But you didn't give up on your Tai Chi Chi Kung, and you received 9 grants from the Parkinson's Foundation to teach Parkinson's patients the crazy thing, and then you, right?
For 5 years, I'm working with Parkinson's people and their caregivers. For me to get Parkinson's disease, like I said, God, why me? I mean, I do all these exercises, I eat right, I do all that. Then you give me this disease. Then I thought for a moment. I said, God, why not me? Because I, the personal warrior that I am, can find a way to take this sickness or whatever you want to call it. I don't usually give it a name. So take this and really change my situation so this does not affect my family and me, and where I can live a normal life. How I was going to do that, I didn't know exactly, because everything that I knew then was limited, just like everything else everybody knows. There's a limit to what we know. So what I did, I said, God, give me the answers so that I can really make these things work for these people that have the same situation as I, or even worse than I. Look at Michael Fox. That's a brilliant young man. His whole life was turned around. But did he quit?
No. No.
He is my hero, because he hung in there. He's doing more now for Parkinson's disease than anyone, including myself.
That's true. He is amazing. He's doing all kinds of wonderful things. And I tell you, we have, oh my goodness, 15 minutes left only.
You're kidding me.
I'm not.
You sure you watched this?
Look there on the timer. Yeah, less than 15 minutes. So, so we're working on these things, and we're going to delve in much deeper come July. Next week, we are going to have Women Unscripted back, and the girls are chomping at the bit. So it's going to be a wild day in the studio. I'm just giving you fair warning, because we can't wait to get together and just have a woman's show again. And we didn't want to wait till July, so John says, well, you know, come on back in July. And I go, no, can't we come in now? We wanted to come in now, so here we are. And so we wanted to tell you about that. We will be sharing what we're doing, the exact system on what we're doing to help us build our immune system. And then the other thing that I wanted to mention about being able to take these Tai Chi classes right in the comforts and privacy of your own home. And then I also wanted to refer to the HeartMath Experience. If you go to dennis-kelly.com, and we'll show you that, and we'll show you what link to hit, or you can go to mine, barbaramarville.com. It's right on the front page called the HeartMath Experience, and that is our entire system that we work from, living from the heart, right?
Absolutely.
And just click onto the HeartMath Experience, and when you do, you're going to see a link that will come up. See it right there? The HeartMath Experience. Click onto that, and what you will see is the various course material that is basically condensed down to, I forget, 9 or 10 like videos and PDFs, and it's basically what my husband went to the mountains there in Boulder to become certified and spent a whole lot of money back in 1999. You've been certified.
I went twice to get the beginning certification and the advanced certification.
That's right.
Learned a lot, and it's really saved my life, because I had some tragedies in my life back around 1992 that would have done in most people. I mean, as far as giving up on life. And I came across, the friend gave me this book called Freeze Frame. And he said, this is great for what your situation is. He knew what my situation was. So I bought the book, I looked at the book, and I said, this looks like it might help, because I already had positive attitude in many ways. But I wasn't handling this situation, was way beyond my ability to handle it. Took the book, watched, read everything in there, and very simple book. It's not that many pages, but it's powerful pages. It changed my life dramatically. It took me from here to here. I am happier now than I was before I had Parkinson's disease. So it didn't ruin that. What it did, it just made it easier for me to find happiness in this.
That's right, that's right. And when they republished, oh, here you go. This, There's no, okay, that's what I was going to ask. You'll go through this, and I kid you not, print up every single one of those PDFs, watch this video, watch each one of the videos 10 times, 20 times, whatever it takes for this to just sink right in to your being, because it works. We'll guarantee it. If you follow this, and you've got to commit to it, it's not that hard to do. You will transform your own life for making the right decisions all the time. All the time. You may falter at first. Believe me, when we made mistakes and made those head decisions, and believe me, you understand what making a heart decision is versus making a head decision. And my 6-year-old grandson is ready for this adult version, because we did the Smart Heart Smart Adventures with my grandson. And we talked about that in one of our last videos that we actually did. But what HeartMath does, it's a not-for-profit organization. They've been around for many, many, many years. They show you the science behind this so that you understand the validation on what happens to human synergy, what happens inside of our body when stress hits, when we don't learn how to manage our emotions. That's what the heck is happening out on the streets with all this nonsense going on. And I'm not saying people don't have feelings or passion for whatever they're marching for or whatever, but there are other ways to handle life in itself. And HeartMath, I would put this up against anything that's out there today because of what it's done for us in our lives. And I like to think that we are influencers out there. People want to know why we're able to handle things, how we're able to master stress in its tracks. There's Howard Martin, our friend. We actually sold this program in the Freeze Frame book on HSN. In less than 5 minutes.
Page 150, they have an article about myself.
The next edition that they printed. Well, page 59, because you were age 59 at that time.
Yeah.
That was a long time ago.
Sure was. A lot of water has gone over the dam.
I'm telling you, we get so passionate about so much of what we learn, and it's taken us time. We're no different than anyone else, but if you are a growth-seeking individual, you must tune into our shows. If this is your first time, welcome. If you've already watched and followed us wherever we've been, whether it's been on the Channel 10 News locally, or you followed my husband in his championships and all, or you shop with me at HSN, this is what we are doing. This is our passion. And I call us Hearts on Fire. People, passion, and purpose. That's what we're doing right here on WeBeam TV. Only on WeBeam TV are we doing shows like this. And you may see us out in the neighborhood, or maybe doing some little video clips on Facebook and that kind of a thing. And you're going to be seeing more of that once I finished loading up the whole Zoom thing. We'll be doing classes there. And we may very well do a half-hour class here to educate, live and unrehearsed, and just anything we can do to make a difference before we leave the planet, right?
Right. Well, when I do a seminar, when I say, how many of you believe that we have unlimited potential? Most everyone will raise their hand. How many of you are using your unlimited potential? Well, that's pretty hard to figure out. So if you have to think about it, then you know that there's a lot more to think, because you're just halfway or a quarter way there. The key is would you rather pay the price of discipline or the price of regret? Discipline weighs ounces. Regret weighs tons. So a little bit of discipline here. The answers are there. You can go in 5 years, you can go to the library. In 5 years, there's enough books and tapes and so on. In 3 to 5 years, you can become a world expert in any subject. And some may be doubtful, but most of them you could. So that's what I say. It's not so much what you do, it's how you do it. The key thing is, and I will finish this little train of thought and let you do some more talking. The train of thought here is that when you make these decisions, become passionate about it. If you are in your life, if there's nothing that you're doing right now that you're doing with passion, you're in pretty bad shape. Because it's the passion of life that makes you live longer, that brings the good hormones into the body, the immune system. There are soldier cells that they drift around in the bloodstream and the lymphatic system, and their power from their way that they get power is when the brain is positive and works on becoming a wonderful factor in our success. Then you send message to the soldier cells, hey, this person really wants to live. So let's fight like hell. Let's get in there and really fight so that this person can further the positive energy that this person gives us, the soldier cells. It's almost like they're talking to us. That's like all disease has a psychosomatic thought. All disease, it's like we think about it, we bring about it. So
That's
anyway,
true.
my tongue is getting heavy, so I better give it back to you.
You're so funny. Well, you have such a wealth of information. And that's the one thing that the P word has not taken away from you is your long-term memory. I mean, you're able to deliver seminar. I mean, I've heard things on this show from years ago that I never heard or I didn't remember that you bring out that you can put things into perspective. I love when you use the metaphors because I love metaphors myself and people can understand that a bit easier. And so with the last few minutes remaining, I just have to say thank you to everyone that believes in what we're doing and are supporting us in so many different ways. And I just want to give a real grateful shout out to Mary Louise, to Brett, to Gabe, and all of the people that are helping us springboard ourselves to a higher level of health and to be able to deliver that to you. And a huge thank you to John Gaston and crew on WeBeam TV. And you can view our shows and other shows on WeBeamTV.com. And if you're in the local area or if you want to sign up and do your own show, I'm sure John can make that happen as well. Even if you're not locally, we can do that. So much to be thankful for here today. I could just sit here and go on and on and on. Again, our new time slot is at 2 o'clock in the afternoon on Mondays, every Monday, and we are going to be doing some master series of learning and education on everything that we're still learning at almost 72 and 82, now going on 83. We're still learning. We're learning on updating our education, our knowledge about health, nutrition, wellness, and just, I mean, it's a whole different world right now, but it doesn't mean that we can't survive or enjoy the many years that we have left, and we want it to be healthy years. We want to be able to get down on the floor, play with our grandsons, go for a bike ride, go out for swing dancing, or whatever it is that we're doing. I do want to go ahead and put up the Zomly app, which is for your classes, the 3 classes that we have right now. We will be getting, thank you, John, for that. We will be getting the advanced classes on there as well. And we're going to be doing the Zoom. And we're going to be most likely doing a class here, and we'll figure out when we're going to be doing that. That's exciting. How
Sure
about
is,
that?
isn't it?
It's like what you think about, you bring about, and it's true. By the way, you can sign up as a subscription, a monthly subscription at $30 a month and view 3 classes as many times as you want during that month. And locally and outside this area, we're charging $30 or $35 per class, or $10 for a day class, right? That's what we've been doing. So we're making it very affordable for people to learn how to relax. And all you have to do is do just a few movements of Qigong. We'll get you there. We'll definitely get you there.
You will not want to stop.
You will want to continue. You want to tell other people. And you know, before we close the show today, you know what I noticed during this pandemic? We're getting more people that we've been nurturing for a year, 2 years, that wasn't quite ready to become a certified instructor. And I'm getting one phone call right after another. And Bertha and Jerry that took your class over at Gold's Gym, they called us, and that's been a long time since Gold's Gym.
20 years ago, wasn't it?
Oh, easily. And they were so thrilled to be able to track you down again because of the way you teach.
Well, what everybody, when they say the way I teach, the key is 50% is physical stuff we do, the Tai Chi and Qigong. The other 50% is the spiritual. I'm talking about the first is the physical, the mental. Then we get into the emotional, which it's not religious or anti-religion by any means. It's taking the power. In other words, when we talk about unlimited potential, when we talk about unlimited potential, why do people then, that they know they have unlimited potential, they raise their hand, and you say, how many of you believe that we only use a third of the potential? Everybody raise their hand. How many of you would like to learn how to have all your potential? Well, the problem why people won't even raise their hand there, because they're afraid. They are afraid they don't have it. They don't believe they have it. So they don't want to make fools of themselves or somebody else. Believe me, you have the power.
That's right. And
I don't like using the word, I don't like to use the word potential. I like to use, we don't have the potential. We have the power.
Exactly.
Power is stronger.
And I have the
unlimited potential is not as strong as power.
I have to raise the power right now because we only have 30 seconds remaining.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. You see, this is passion, right? We get carried away with all this wonderful information. We want to thank you for joining us today. We will see you next Monday at 2 p.m. in the afternoon with our Women Unscripted show. That's going to be fun. And then my husband and I will be back the following Monday with some really great surprises for you. In the meantime, God bless, be healthy, and tune in and love your family and just be in gratitude. God bless everyone. Thanks for joining us today. Take care. Bye-bye now.